USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and Auto Camp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
Did he howl at the moon?
No. Do you
All right, we're back.
That he is a wild man?
3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Criminal Mischief Nation, to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. My name is Branden. As always, I'm with the great Carolyn Osorio. Carolyn, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Doing great. We've been totally rain-soaked here in Seattle. I'm kind of over it. You should have seen me yesterday. I was at my son's soccer game. My husband and I were sharing one umbrella. And
Wow.
It's like we were totally, each one of us soaked on the other side. Anyway, it was just like...
I hear the heat dome is coming. Are you getting?
Oh
you guys have a heat wave?
Okay, I just had this conversation with my mom. All right, I don't even want to hear about it. The heat dome.
Well, it's gonna get hot next week. It's not hitting LA though, which is great. There's this little carve out. It's gonna be like 5 degrees above normal in LA, which is good. But don't worry, we'll get our triple digits coming up.
I don't even want to think about it. I don't like to, when I know that something like that's coming, I like to just stick my head in the sand until it's here and then deal with it, you know?
Yeah, well, we've got the solar panels on the house now, so cha-ching.
What?
Yes.
Nice drop.
Yeah.
Nice drop.
We got it. Well, it didn't cost us anything. Like all of those things that you hear about, like California pays for it, they're true.
Okay,
Like,
when did you get them?
3 weeks ago, we're just waiting for the final inspection, and then we get to turn them on. Yeah, like 7 different companies had knocked on my door over the last 2 months, and finally I let one of them in, and we were talking, and it all.
You're such a sucker. Oh my gosh. Let me guess.
I went.
Is he from Jersey?
No, because she was pretty cute, to be honest.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you were so...
And my wife's like, oh yeah, I get it. Oh, well, it's so weird that you chose this company. I went, guilty. Okay, fine, guilty. It wasn't some dude that, whatever. It was like, oh, okay.
Hey,
no, but
good
listen.
For her. Good for her that she got a sale. Good for her.
Totally sold. Cost us nothing up front. We pay a monthly fee for the next, 25 years. But the whole sales pitch worked great. And then I researched it. And then I actually went and talked to 3 people from the previous companies that had showed up at the door. And their deal wasn't as good. Mm-hmm. I went, oh, okay, great. And then
I can't even listen to you now that I know. Look at you. Yeah. It's so
then we
look at you trying to say.
No, so then we go through the whole whole thing. They come out, they do a site inspection. Mm-hmm. They show you what the solar array will look like on your roof. You approve it. Mm-hmm. They get the permits. They do everything. Then they show up half day to install all of the stuff. Mm-hmm. And then there's a final permit of the final inspection that we're waiting for. And then it's great. And everything went so well. I recommended them to my brother-in-law across the street. They said yes. So this guy gets a little bonus, okay? And I can't wait.
Well, good for you. I'm so happy for the environment that
yes, same.
You pulled the trigger on that.
And now I see him everywhere. That's all I look at now. I just look for solar panels on rooftops. I go, oh, there. And our neighbors down the street have them. And now the big question is, do we get a battery? I don't know if we get a big battery on the side of the house. We might not. I'm not sure. But so, yeah.
Riveting, Branden. Riveting.
That's what's going. Go solar. Go solar.
Oh my gosh, I could just see you holding up a sign. Yeah.
I was in Reno a couple of weeks ago for a volleyball tournament with my daughters, and and the facility was super close to the hotel, but still, where I was in like 5 Ubers a day going back and forth. And on the last night, get back to the hotel, and my daughter left her cell phone like on the floor in this massive convention center. So I have to go back. So that's another Uber. Go back. I get it. So on the way back to the hotel, I start talking to the Uber driver, and I don't know how it happened, but this guy happened to be an electrical engineer whose major was in solar and like everything having to do with solar from top to bottom. And so I told him I was thinking about doing solar, and so I wind up sitting in the car once we get to the like location for like another 40 minutes. We were talking about solar panels for so long. I didn't know this about Uber, that Uber sets off an alarm on both of our phones. Are you okay? You've been in long after the ride has been done. Like, are you a hostage right now?
I really hope you left him a really good tip, Branden. I really hope.
He talked a little too much.
Okay,
but
wait a second. You picked his phone and got the, wait. Oh my! Shame on you. Did you leave a good tip?
He gave a little too much. Of course I did, but he gave a little too much information. But really interesting
in the car. You stayed in the car. Okay.
I did, but that's what I got home, and on Monday we pulled the trigger on solar panels. So because of the wonderful Uber driver who knew every single thing there is to know about solar energy, he shared that with me. So anyway,
the more you know. No, I love it
because
when people share their knowledge, and I love that. I love that. So good.
Yeah, we're solar creatures. He told me that little gem.
Are you talking about people who how it's good for you to go barefoot because
no, the sun on our skin, like the sun, it energizes us. I'm like, okay, so does food. Give me a hot dog rather than laying out in the sun for an hour.
He lost his audience when he.
That's what I'm saying. He was a little too grandiose.
Biggest skeptic on the planet.
He was a little extra with all of how great the sun is. I'm like, yeah, I like the sun as much as the next guy, but give me a break. Okay.
Oh.
Like, what's the sun ever done for me, really? Like, oh, the sun is so great.
Just provided you life, okay?
Says who? Whatever. Okay. No, I'm kidding. Go solar, everybody. All right. So listen, let's get into this
natural world.
Speaking of, so here's my first question to you about the wild man of Wynoochee. Is he a good guy or a bad guy to you?
You know what? I knew you were going to ask me that because I was like, I knew you were going to be like,
You kind of fetishized him a little bit.
You read, just stop. Okay.
You did.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I get.
He was 6'4" and crazy hair and strong and living in the woods.
You know, I like capable men. What can I say?
It shows. I get it. I know.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but Naked and Afraid is like one of my favorite shows. Like
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Don't choke on that. I just find that it's what's wrong with Naked and Afraid?
A lot.
Okay, wait a second. I just found out that you like the gold miner things. So get off.
The gold miner thing happens to be a show called Gold Rush.
Get off your high horse. Okay.
Highest rated cable TV show, but whatever. It's all good. No big deal. Sorry. Maybe if it was Naked Gold Rush, you'd watch it.
It's not even about being naked. It's about being brought to your knees by nature and surviving.
I understand. All right, I get that. I used to watch the show Alone. That was pretty
I
good.
love that too. Yes.
It's up in your neck of the woods, the first season,
I
right?
know. I love that one too. It's not about being naked. It's just about like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I love it when people get out of their I mean, I would never want to do something like that. I don't even like camping,
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm just like, yeah, I want to be a survivalist. It's not that. It's just it's a great exercise for people to really find themselves and to really like, especially the ones who overcome so much, because you know what you sign up for when you sign up for those shows. Like, you know you're going to be bit by a million mosquitoes. Like, I would never want to do that. You know you're going to be cold. You know you're going to be rained on. You know all of
Hungry.
those things. What?
You know you're going to be hungry.
You're going to be hungry. And like, what does that pressure do to you? Are you the type of person who gives up? Or are you the type of person that works through it? You know? And then if you're with your partner, what do you guys build and do together? Are you guys just fighting all the time? So if I fetishized him back full circle, it's only because I can respect somebody who can actually go out there and live off the land, because it's so difficult to do. You know what I mean? But what he did, absolutely not. Like, he killed all those people. So,
Yeah.
But honestly, the thing that I don't know is that, did he even kill those nephews? And if he did, it sounds like it was an accident and he just freaked out. And then when he became a hunted man, or when they were hunting.
Well, you laid out his defense in your narration. Couldn't see, it was blurry. He saw shapes and fired. Okay. I get it. Well, I know where you stand on it.
Are you against him? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not against him at all. I actually, I'm intrigued by the kind of idea where he lived kind of a double life. He's like this gentleman farmer who owns a 400-acre ranch.
Mm-hmm.
He could be relatively wealthy and comfortable and just go fucking hang out and do stuff, instead he lives in the forest, right? And he looks all like a yeti, and he's out there hunting and killing elk and tying frogs' legs together with elk hair. Like, what the fuck is going on? That's his alarm system.
That was my favorite part.
When the frogs are quiet, someone's coming. Or maybe you killed them because you tied their legs together, like a college prank, tying their shoelaces together, right?
Wait a second, you didn't find that to be totally ingenious? When I heard that, I was like, I love that detail. Did you ever read My Side of the Mountain when you were a little kid?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
But listen, I found it interesting that like what he railed against, he still had blood loyalty. He would still come back for the harvest and still come back for the planting season. Otherwise, there was a little bit of Thoreau in him. He liked being out in the woods. Thoreau, actually was in a cabin and was a mile from fucking town. He wasn't like in the vast wilderness of the Pacific Northwest. He was near Boston. Okay. But still, he, like he says, he wanted to live deliberately, to write a book about it. This Wynoochee whack job, he did it because that was just who he was.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing it to like, I'm going to write a book to show everyone how cool I am. He's like, no, this is my nature.
Have you ever met people like this? I mean, maybe it's because I live in the Pacific Northwest that I feel like I've come across this prototype on multiple occasions. Not to this extreme, but just people who, they live. There's the posers who have all the REI gear and all that stuff. And then there's the people who actually really live it. You know what I mean? And
the closest I came to a wild man would be like, a guy who lived far away from the pizzeria in New Jersey. Okay. There wasn't a lot of room for like, I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to live off the land. No, I didn't. Well, didn't
you grow up by like woods in North Jersey?
Sure. I mean, yeah. Sure. Like, woods. But if you walk an hour in any direction, worst case scenario, you hit a freeway. Okay. So you're not really under the, I mean, you can fake it. You can tell yourself, I'm really, I'm doing it, right? But New Jersey is historically the most densely populated state in the union. There isn't one county that isn't considered a major metropolitan area because of proximity to New York and Philadelphia. So it's you don't really find that in Jersey. But beyond that, I spent a lot of time in the woods of New England growing up, and no, I never came across a guy or a woman or a family or whatever that like, oh, they live in a hut in the woods. That's just what they do.
Mhm.
Never.
I think that like people really like hence the popularity of shows like Naked and Afraid and Alone. I think that the more civilized we have quote unquote become, people really yearn for the simplicity of going out into the wilderness. But the idea of actually doing it is so hard. I mean, you've seen Alone. Look at what.
But think about the history of human evolution. That was never what we had to do. We were never alone in the woods unless like something terrible happened and you got lost or you got abandoned or you were exiled. But the general state of Homo sapiens, or all the way back to like Homo habilis or even Australopithecus, we were in groups because we knew that there was safety in numbers and we could defend from animals, and you could help raise the kids while you go out and hunt, or while you plant, or I'll do this. You know what I mean? So there was always a group of
Well, that's
us.
why this whole thing is a fantasy. Can you go out and can you survive on your own for 100 days?
Okay, but why would you?
I know, because people
As a test?
as a test, yes.
Okay.
The
Yeah, that's
test.
interesting.
It's the
That's
ultimate
interesting.
test.
Sure.
Especially because people can't even like you don't, and I include myself in this. You're not attached to your phone for 2 minutes, and you're like, "Where's my phone? Where is it?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just that
Yeah.
that romanticizing being out in nature. But then this guy actually survived for 19 months. I mean, do you know how difficult that would be?
Yeah.
Survive?
Yeah.
Because like in watching that show Alone, like the biggest thing that was one of the things that is so interesting to me is just what the body needs, the different fats, the different, you can't just survive off of
Proteins
fish.
and carbs and vitamin D and all. Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
and how you have to like think about that if you want to survive, because people would want to stay out there longer, say like they're 50, 60 days in, and they can't because their bodies literally need vitamin C or their whatever, and they have to be medvaced or evacuated.
This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally. Yes.
It's an absolute riot, and the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time. What last time?
it's the frequel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday, in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
It's Wednesday Addams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso Virtuo coffee machines. Ready to enjoy the bold flavors of barista-quality Nespresso iced coffee at home? Simply fill a glass with ice and press the brew button on your Virtuo pop machine to enjoy rich double espressos roasted to stand up even when chilled. Refreshingly bold iced coffee. Refreshingly easy to make at home. Visit Nespresso.com to shop now.
So that's the difference between this Wynoochee guy and say, like, who was that dude also up in your neck of the woods in like the really awful part of the woods up there who like dug out that bunker
Oh yeah,
and the
yeah,
and the FBI saw the little smoke
yeah,
chimney like coming up.
yeah.
So like he killed his whole family. Like
Peter Keller. Yes.
there you go.
Yeah.
So he spent years, but like provisioning his place. Like he had blankets and he had extra boots and raincoats and food and canned goods and all that. So he was just like in a less comfortable house.
Yeah. He spent. Then that was the scary
Yeah.
part with that episode. He spent 7 years every weekend
Provisioning.
carrying 50 to 150-pound
Right,
packs.
with this sick murder fantasy. It's almost time for me to kill everybody. Woohoo! Right? This Wynoochee was just like, I hope I shoot an elk today so I can eat and tie some frogs' legs up.
Okay, you didn't find that to be ingenious. How do you not find that to be ingenious?
I think it's cruel to the frogs.
Oh my God. That is not what you think.
I think those frogs deserved better than to be like in his unwilling alarm system. Yeah, I think they deserve better. What'd those frogs do to him?
You
How
didn't
would
hear
you
that
like it?
and just think, oh my gosh, mind blown. What a great idea.
No, because what's interesting
When you were
about
a
that
kid,
is
didn't you ever make forts?
I made tons of forts. Are you kidding? There's this book, I forget the guy who wrote it, this tracker. He was a Caucasian guy, but he was revered among the Native American population as being like one of their own because he could like track a guy for 100 miles over flat rock in the rain. I'm like, okay, sure. Okay, right. What tracks are you gonna? But that kind of legendary kind of like status.
Yeah.
And I loved reading about him and stories like that and all, and I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm too civilized. Maybe I'm just a city guy, I guess. But yes, I built forts. I spent time in the swamps in New Jersey and in the woods and building tree forts and all that kind of stuff. And then, but I moved away.
I mean, here's the thing. As I said, I'm not judging. I don't even enjoy camping. I'm just saying that because I like, when we watch Naked and Afraid, we are so comfy, cozy on the Tempur-Pedic. And that's part of the pleasure of it, is like watching other people struggle and like the people who are able to overcome it, and they do, and you root for them, because it's like, for a lot of people, it's like a life-changing thing. It's not just about surviving in nature. And I think that whether it's sports, whether it's this, whatever your passion is, to be able to do it at that level is like really cool, but
here's what I love about it. What I love about it, and this is in a schadenfreudish kind of way, is that people don't know how difficult it is to do it.
Exactly.
How exceedingly fucking difficult it is to do it.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about it. Did you watch 1883, the series?
Yeah.
Okay. That's these people kind of pseudo living off the land because they had their wagons with food and furniture and stoves and all that shit. Okay. Which they all wind up losing, by the way. But they have some modern conveniences for the time. And all of them died. Like everybody died except like 2 people,
And that's how it was.
And that's how it was. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even with those modern conveniences, with clothes that you don't have to make because you killed a bear and skinned it and now you have a bear shirt. No, you have clothes and you have a wool jacket and you have boots and you have but whatever, a sack of flour, a bag of beans, and still people died because of the harshness and the unforgiving nature of nature itself, right? My brother was a big mountaineering guy when he was younger, like just hiking mountain, not rock climbing, but like trekking kind of thing. And, and you'd always say nature doesn't care and stuck in a snowstorm and all, and all this shit. And it's true. Nature couldn't give a fuck that you really want to survive, And so people not understanding how hard it is, I find that interesting. I have a friend who claims that he's going to go completely off grid.
I told you, there's like a fantasy about it. Yes.
Completely off grid. I'm like, oh, wow, interesting. Since you've lived in New York and Philadelphia your whole life, now you're going to go completely off grid.
You have to be a dream stealer. Oh my gosh.
With a young wife, and you want to have a family? He goes, absolutely. I'm like, what are you going to do with the kid? Homeschool. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. How are you going to feed your family? I'm going to be a farmer. Like, you're going to be a farmer? What are you going to grow? I don't know, dude. Food. Like I'm the asshole for asking him what he's going to grow. I'm like, what food are you going to grow? Have you ever farmed anything in your life? No, but I'll figure it out. Oh, on YouTube, you're going to watch videos and you're going to become adept enough at working the land by yourself to take care of your family. You're outside of your fucking mind.
Why do you not want him to try?
It's not that I don't want him to try. I want him to prepare for it first. And it's not like I watch a YouTube video on how to unclog my toilet. It's not the same as watching a YouTube video on how to cultivate enough food to feed your family. Okay, that's something that's learned over generations.
Right, but
that you have a team of people.
Yes, but what you're missing is this. It's like the cry for help of like, I want to get out of this. I want to opt out of the matrix. Like that's what they're yearning for, because it's like life can be so hard nowadays. You know what I mean? That sounds like so to certain people. That is like the ripcord. And then when he gets in there, he's going to be like, oh shit, this is really hard. That's where the hubris comes in, because you're right.
I agree.
You can't just do this. You can't.
I see. I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
My problem is that I want him to succeed. He wants it so badly. I want him to do well.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's willing to put the work in. He thinks he's just going to be able to do it.
And that's where the hubris comes in.
He's never swung an axe, or he's never dug a hole with a shovel in his life. He's an investment banker. Okay.
I love that. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So what are the chances that a month into it, he's hungry, his fucking wife hates him? Okay. What did you do this to us for? And he's going to fucking give up on his dream. Whereas if he starts now and starts taking some classes, maybe like lives on a farm and is like a farmhand for a while, like with his family, to see if they enjoy the farm life, rather than, spending his life savings on this massive piece of land up in Montana and trying to build a house.
You're killing his dream, dude. He's
trying to build a house. I said, where are you? I said, Steve, where are you going to get water? I'll dig a well. I mean, duh. Oh, you're going to dig a well.
Yeah, because every time he goes into that job, he feels like his soul is slowly dripping out of his body every time.
I agree.
What makes that even possible to save the money to do the nest egg is to think of this fantasy of like, but it's like the reality of it is like
it's gonna kick him in the teeth. The reality of it, he's gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing out here?
I know, and that's the thing. But here's the great thing. That's why these shows are so popular, because maybe he won't, Brandon. Maybe he'll surprise the hell out of you, and
maybe he'll be the one person from the wagon train that doesn't get scalped or bitten by a snake or run over by a horse, right? Okay, yeah, he'll be that one person.
I know, right? He could be, and I hope that he is, because you know what? His wife and kids are going to hate him for it if he fails. That's the thing. You got to be all in together on that kind of a deal, or you're like really hanging yourself.
I know. Can you imagine this poor woman? She's like, this guy's got all this money. I get to stay home and just do like PTA stuff,
Yes.
Yeah. No, I know her. That's
driving
she loves the life.
I know. And then your husband comes to you and he's like,
she's a great mom.
Yeah. Listen, if I don't do this, I'm going to die inside. Okay. Because he's got to go. Yeah. I mean, it's, I think again, that's why these shows are so popular, because we get to sit in our cozy existence, make with other people, sometimes be like, oh, they did it. Yay.
One time, like 4, maybe 5 years ago, during a particularly rousing season finale of Gold Rush, okay, I look over at my wife and I went, we could do this.
Oh my gosh.
We could do it. I've learned so much watching the show. She texted me a number. She didn't even say anything. She texted me a number. I'm like, who's this? She goes, it's a divorce lawyer. I went, okay.
You know what? Because you were buying into the dream, right?
100%. And I believed it that night.
Right. And that is.
I woke up smarter. Like, what the? I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing. I wouldn't be able to be a gold miner.
Yeah.
I've never operated heavy machinery. What are you talking? I haven't been further north than Seattle. What am I going to do? I don't have. Come on. Give me a
Well,
break.
then what was it about the gold miner experience that made you feel like, I want to do it? I want to be all in. What was it?
It's the genius with the way that they construct the episode.
Mm-hmm.
It all leads up to victory.
Mm-hmm.
It all leads up to, we found the gold. We did it.
Mm-hmm.
We believed in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't take no for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
We put the work in,
Mm-hmm.
right? We trusted our gut. We trusted the people around us, and look at this. And now we're multimillionaires.
I know, but we're doing that right now with the shows and the creative and the, that's the gold. It's like,
no, but the way that you fetishized Wynoochee, I fetishized the actual gold, right? And finding the gold and like holding it in your hand.
I didn't fetishize him. I did not. I take umbrage with the fact that
take all the umbrage you want. Okay, listen to the episode. Okay.
What?
Take your umbrage and listen to the
dirty
episode.
Man? No, I'm just saying.
He was 6'4" and handsome and strong. He could take care of himself in the woods, and he's dressing his elk. No, I'm listening to this episode going, whoa, all right, fantastic. So
stop. I think you're adding a little bit to that. Okay.
Let's do it again. Okay. So I want to talk about. Hold on. I want to talk about how murdery this guy eventually got, because he got pretty murdery, right?
He did. That's why I don't want to like throw my lot in with him, because you know what? I don't do murder. All right. This guy.
I understand.
I think he. Again, I don't want to apologize for him at all, but I think that if it went the way, well, first of all, how do you think it went down? Do you think that he intentionally killed those boys? Do you think that they were trying to kill him? Like, what do you think?
No, I think it was an early Ruby Ridge type of situation where he's like, I'm living on my land, doing my thing. If you come and try and get me on my land, I have the right to defend myself and fucking kill you.
But these were his nephews.
But he probably didn't know it was his nephews.
Okay, so
if he was paranoid and on the run for this long, right? Paranoid, on the run, every snapping twig or non-singing frog means danger.
Okay,
is right around the corner.
He wasn't on the run at that point.
He was hiding out. He knew he was reading the newspapers. He knew everybody wanted him.
No, but that was
he knew he was being hunted.
I know, but that was after he killed the boys. That wasn't before. He was just out doing his thing in the woods. He was free. Okay, it was after.
I thought he'd already killed people. Hadn't he already killed people? Or
no,
those two were the first two?
Were the first. The nephews were the first.
The twins.
The twins.
The twins
Identical
were the first.
Twins were the first. Yes, and then when they started putting all these posses together to go hunt him down, that's when he started killing. He killed 4 more.
So I guess I was blinded by,
Stop.
Okay. You knew where I was going. It was pretty funny.
Because you know what?
So I think, okay, so what all right, then that changes things. I don't think that he would, then that was an intentional kill. I mean, he had to fire oh geez, I don't know, that's tough. Why would he do it though?
I don't know. I think that's the question about the case, where it's like, we don't know. There's no witnesses, and then he never talked to anybody about it. So like, we don't know what started it. I mean, I think that we know that, being out there, that's another thing that's interesting about watching Naked and Afraid, is that like around the 4th day, the people really start getting crazy, because the missing your family, the no food, all that stuff kicks in. Their emotions start going crazy. And, they just, you can see, if you watch the episodes, you can see that it's by the 4th day, but then if they get over that hump, their bodies start changing. They start getting used to it. The all the mosquito bites kind of heal or whatever. But with this guy, I feel like being alone, back to your point about us being kind of tribal and like living together in societies, being alone for that long, I mean, it had to have affected his emotional state, his mind, just, and then being hunted, never being able to actually sleep. That's another thing about not getting good sleep. That's so important. So I feel like, it doesn't excuse murder in any state of mind, but like, I think that contributed to it. You know what I mean? I mean, being hunted by posses for 19 months, almost 2 years. You put your head down, you don't know you got those frogs going. Like, are they?
Do they have the frogs turned on me? Are they going to keep singing even when someone shows up? Those little fuckers.
I thought you
maybe
loved
if you didn't
them.
tie their legs
I
together.
thought that you loved them.
If you didn't tie their legs together, they might show a little more loyalty. Okay, maybe you should have thought about that before you mistreat frogs.
I just think it's so like ingenious that he did that. I really do. I'm sorry, but I just think that it's like, I don't know. It just takes me back to when I was a kid and we would do stupid shit like that. And my sister and I just
I hear you.
Doing nothing,
How old was he when he died? When did they get this Wynoochee guy?
Actually, that's a good question.
His name was John Torno?
John Torno,
yeah.
Torno. I don't know.
I mean, like, did he make it to 50? Was he 60?
I don't know. I think, well, okay, he was born in 1880 and they killed him in 1913. So.
Oh, so he was 33 years old.
Yeah, he was young. Still.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't it weird about how, like, I'm surprised you didn't bring up how the people were trying to rip off. Well, with your Ides of April, I'm sure you've, in all the history that you've read and over the years, like that fascination that people had back then of like ripping off dead people's hair and taking, trophies. And I just find that so weird about humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the other interesting thing was how he became kind of like a folk hero. And he was in all the newspapers and stuff, and it was like a smaller scale version of, it was around like Prohibition, like in the early 30s, with Anastasia. Okay. When Anastasia, it was, reported that the princess survived, the Bolshevik fucking massacre, and that she was around, and people were like, and it gave everybody, for some weird reason, hope that this girl survived and that there's an actual princess that's still around. And then when it was revealed that it was a hoax, like everybody's hopes were dashed, and like, oh, wave of melancholy swept across the nation. But with this guy, like in all the newspapers, and people knew that he was reading the newspapers and all that shit. And so yeah, they wanted a piece of his clothing, a lock of his hair, like whatever, just as a keepsake.
I know.
Yeah. It's weird. Well, baseball cards do that. You know anyone collects baseball cards?
I mean, in my life, I have known people, but it's just something about taking it off the person is just
right. But there's a thing called game worn or game used. Okay, like say a night, Aaron Judge hits 4 home runs in a game. The jersey that he wore, he'll sell to a baseball card company. That baseball card company will cut it up into like 1,000 small squares and put that embedded in a baseball card. So in that baseball card will be worth a ton of money. Oh, this has got a piece of a game used jersey by Aaron Judge, right? So small keepsakes like that. That's the actress Claire Harris that was in Lincoln's death chamber up in the balcony when he died, took a lock of his hair and purposely was like putting her hands in the blood and brain matter on the floor and rubbing it onto her clothes so she could have as much of his blood on her clothing as possible, just to elevate her status as, I was there with our dying president and this is his blood on my garments, whatever, just that fucking lunacy. But that's how we've been. We want to be as close as possible to history and to either evil or greatness or greatness triumphing or evil being vanquished or whatever. We're there, and here's the proof. Yeah. So I mean, that is interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, because that just kind of went right by me, because I've read a lot about it. It doesn't really affect me anymore. Yeah.
It's so gruesome. Just people like rushing,
macabre. Yeah.
The morgue, and just like, I want my pound. I want access. And the coroner's like, okay, and they have no choice.
He was afraid. Exactly, because he'd be laying on the table next to him.
I mean, can you imagine like that happening, and somebody dies, and the people in Seattle are like, "Hey, we demand to see this." I mean,
we need to see the body. Yeah. Different times. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody? I don't know. It's weird. Like, if I'm trying to think, I don't want to get too macabre here, but like, I don't know if Springsteen like collapsed on stage and I was at the concert, I might kind of reach out to grab his guitar pick or something. If I was close enough. You wouldn't do that?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't do that, really?
I don't think so.
All right, if you're at a U2 concert and you're front row and Bono keels over from a heart attack, let's hope that doesn't happen. But if he does, and like he lands in front of you, like you can smell his cologne.
I think we need to insert Eddie Vedder. I think maybe that.
Eddie Vedder, right, Seattle. And he collapses in front of you, and he's right there. And all you have to do is reach out, and you could just take his earring out of his ear.
No, I actually wouldn't, because it feels so invasive to do that.
Yes.
I'm not like somebody who, if I saw a celebrity, I would rush to them. I would actually like look, but then give them their privacy. I've just always been that way. I'm just not somebody who likes to do that.
The madness of crowds being what they are. Yeah. Let's say
you want me to do it, right?
Let's say that you abstain. You're like, I'm not touching Eddie Vedder. I'm going to protect the sanctity of his dead body. I'm going to prevent other people from getting anywhere near him. But then the crowd is like pulling out his hair and yanking out his clothes, and it's happening. Then do you go, I'll take this little thing?
No, because it's not an earned thing. It's not an earned thing. If he gave me something, I would be like, oh yeah, Eddie Vedder gave this to me. And then I'd be like, all
right, what if it's not? All right, what if it's not an article, anything that is on his person, but next to him is that night's set list on the floor, piece of paper, handwritten.
Yeah.
We'll grab that.
That's something I would do, probably. Yeah, I mean, I get the idea of wanting to be a part of history, and like I was there when this happened. But like, not the negative of someone fucking died and you're there to steal their earring, or you're there. That just is too. It's like just too ick. Like,
speaking of the Lincoln assassination, so the Ford's Theater held at a capacity of around between 1,500 to 2,000 people. But in the decades after the assassination, there were reports that over 100,000 different people claimed to have been in the theater that night, just to say that they were there, and they weren't. So, obviously almost all of them are lying, but that's people's desire to participate in history. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised that people do it, but just that to say, yeah, I was there and they weren't, right? That's a tall tale.
Right. Of course.
Somebody's hair out to like do all that. And I can't imagine going to my kids, look I ripped this hair out. Look at what we have. I'm going to wear it around my neck.
Look at this lock of hair. How'd you get it, Mom? Shut up. That's how I got it. Leave me alone. Look at the hair.
You know what I do think is cool, though? This is what I do think is cool. I did a story once on time capsules that were found in old homes in Seattle, like in Ballard and these really, really old neighborhoods. Nice. And I think that's really cool when people put these time things and they put it in the wall, and then they build, they go on with their lives, and then like 100 years later, they're found. I think that's really cool.
Really, really funny story. And then I have to end it with this. So friends of ours are moving to Hawaii. They had a going away party yesterday. And about 3 years ago, they bought a dilapidated house on a beautiful property in Santa Monica, California, which is an amazing neighborhood. And this house, strangely, was about 4,000 square feet and was originally built as a private church. Okay. So it looks like a house
Mm-hmm.
until you really look at it. And then it has stained glass everywhere and this kind of like
Crosses all
pointed,
over.
like crosses everywhere. There's a confessional in the house. There's like a lot of dark wood and carvings and everything. And the banister's like really crazy. It was a fucking church. Okay. And so they buy it and they're renovating it and redoing everything and taking walls down, and it's beautiful. And it was okay. So they bust through one wall and they find a box that was purposely left in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Only one thing in the box, a VHS tape.
Mm.
And it was labeled Beijing, and that was it. And they've never watched it. They're afraid to watch it.
Why?
I don't know. They're afraid to watch it.
That's a podcast.
I'd be afraid to watch it too. But I said, send it to me. I could fire up the old VCR. I'll watch it for you.
Have one?
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
a
totally.
VCR?
Totally. It's a VCR with a DVD player.
Beta.
No. It's got a DVD burner built in, so you play a VHS tape and it automatically burns it onto a DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, well, watch it and let me know what it is.
Yeah, and then I start thinking like, well, I saw the horror movie The Ring. Maybe probably shouldn't watch it, But
are you kidding me? If they send it to you, of course you're gonna watch it. I would be shocked if you didn't.
Yeah, maybe. What if it's like a snuff film or something? I don't know. These religious people. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is true, but
you know what they say? Good people will do the best they can. Bad people will do the worst they can. But to get a good person to do something terrible requires religion.
So watch it and let me know what's on it. Okay?
Maybe I will. All right. That'll do it. Thank you all for checking in with us today. We hope you liked The Wild Man of Wynoochee. If you did, go over to Apple Podcasts and give us a rate and a review and maybe share with your friends. And also, like I always say, please consider supporting the great companies that support the show, because we wouldn't be able to do it without them. And we also wouldn't be able to do it with the creative force behind this whole thing, the great Carolyn Osorio. Carolyn, thank you again for all your hard work. Anything you'd like to add?
Nope. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Until then, stay safe out there.
Bye.
From Cloud 10, Criminal Mischief is a pie-in-the-sky production recorded in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself. Music by Soundstripe. I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.